Gracious God, creator of the universe, and yet the lover of my soul. Alpha and Omega, and yet I can call you friend. I don't have to beg you for anything, but I can thank you for everything. God, I thank you because this is the day that you have made, and I can rejoice and be glad in it. Thank you for this day of magnificence and glory and splendor. God, I thank you for life, health, and for strength. I thank you for soundness of mind. I thank you for peace, love, and joy. I thank you for the essence of you that envelops me right now from the crown of my head to the soles of my feet. We thank you for this day of manifestation. We thank you for the day of revelation. We thank you for the day of impartation. We thank you as you move in the midst of your people to bring us to the greatest times that we've ever seen since the foundation of the world. Thank you, Lord, that for this time and for this season, you've allowed us to be a part of your move in the face of the earth. I thank you, God, for the revolution that you're bringing forth, God, even in the midst of the earth right now. And I thank you for the opportunity to be a part of what you're doing in this hour, because in the last days, saith God, you said you would pour out your spirit on all flesh. And so now we thank you for the pouring out. God, I thank you for the rain and the move of your spirit. I thank you for fresh oil. I thank you for new wine. I thank you for the new thing that you're doing. I thank you now that it does spring forth. I thank you, Lord, that you've called us to be the head and not the tail. You've called us to be above only and not beneath. You've called us to be the lender and not the borrower. You've called, God, that our storehouses would be full and increase. God, I thank you because even I decree and declare that the people under the sound of my voice, even now, are moving in the might of your strength. Not by might nor by power, but by your spirit. I thank you for those that are the sons and daughters of God that are called because they walk not after the flesh, but after your spirit. I thank you for the rising up of the people of your kingdom. I thank you that your kingdom come. I thank you that your will be done, even now in earth as it is in heaven. I thank you, Lord, because you are moving in the midst of your people mightily as never before. Raise us up, oh God, to the standard of what you've called us to be. God, I thank you for the standard of greatness. I thank you for the standard of holiness. I thank you for the standard of moving as the sons and daughters of yours, and not as vagabonds, not as those that never knew you, not as those that are confused and confounded, but God, those that know who they are in you. I thank you for the knowing. I thank you, God, for knowing you. I thank you for knowing your presence. Thank you for knowing your Holy Ghost power that gives us the ability to be successful. Your anointing that gives us the power to rise up and be called blessed. Thank you for that is in us. Thank you, God, for all things that pertain to life and godliness. Thank you because we are not confused. We are not deceived. And we thank you for that clarity of mind and the clarity of vision that allows us to walk forth as kings and queens, as princes and princesses in the kingdom that walk in the earth. We thank you that we are your beloved, and we rise up as the apple of your eye. We rise up, oh God, as those that you love with all of your heart. And God, we love you back. I thank you for soundness of mind. I thank you for soundness of spirit. I thank you that healing is our bread. Healing is our deliverance. By the stripes of Jesus, we're already healed. And we speak forth that healing even now for those that need it. Thank you, God, for every stripe that was taken. Thank you for the bruising. Thank you that he was wounded for our transgressions, bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him. God, with those same stripes we declare and we speak healing in Jesus' name. We give you glory, we give you peace, we give you honor, we give you blessing, we give you might. We ascribe all of these things unto you because they are yours. Thank you, the fruit of my lips giving thanks unto your name, ever giving you all that is yours. Glory, honor, power, dominion, majesty, It's yours. I decree it and I speak it. In the mighty name of Jesus, it is so. Amen and amen.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. I want to welcome you to today's edition of Yes, You O Cubed. What does the O Cube stand for? One-on-one, because it's just me and you. I am your spiritual thought leader, Regina L. Stillman, and I'm so glad that you joined me on today. Yes, this fine day, it's Thursday, y'all. Yes, it's Thriving Thursday. The date is April the 28th in the year 2022, and I'm so glad that you joined me this morning. Listen, I tell you what, this is a good day to be alive. It's a good day to be together here, and I cannot wait. I just absolutely cannot wait to have this conversation with you on today. Now, you know how we get this party started. We like to appreciate those that come in early. Yes, they come in early, bright and early, into the lion's den to make sure there's plenty of peace, love, soul, and happiness in the lion's den. So you know how we get it started. You know how we do it. I done threw my girl up there just a little too soon. But nonetheless, I appreciate those that come in, and let's go ahead and give a good warm applause to those that came in to get in the love seat and or the winner of Grandpa Holmes' chair on today. And the third person into the VIP section this morning was none other than Miss Fabulous. Miss Fabulous, you did that this morning. You came in. Go ahead and get over there on that love seat. Go ahead and get a seat. Go ahead and get a seat. Sit down, sit down, sit down. Choose your seat and sit down right there on that love seat. So glad that you came in bright and early this morning, and thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, the second person in the VIP section this morning was none other than Truck driver, you did that. Thank you for coming in, sir. I appreciate you. Isn't that man? He's just fine. He's dandy. Oh my goodness, he's all that and a bag of chips. That's what you call eye candy, cheerings. That's what you call eye candy. Thank you so much, truck driver, for coming in and bringing the love, peace, joy, and happiness. Now, let's give it up to the winner, 12 o'clock sharp. The winner of Grandpa Holmes' chair is none other than Anita Harvey. Anita Harvey, you are the winner of Grandpa Holmes' chair. Go ahead and take your lips, your hips, and your fingertips. Go on and sit down, sis. You did that. You did. Listen, had a total knee replacement, but you made it to the chair. Come on, girl. Sit down. Choose that seat and sit down. Because, girl, you did that. Thank you so much. And you always bring an abundance of love into the lion's den, and we love you. Now, you continue to rehabilitate. You out here running around on that leg already, child. I just don't know. But that's okay. The best way to get healed and get healed quick is to exercise that thing. And you exercise and got in Grandpa Holmes' chair. Congratulations to you. Now, you know, this is our time. Get that mod love out there. Get that mod love out there. Because this is our time to appreciate the moderators that are in here in the lion's den. We start off with the prophetess. Yes, the prophetess, Shelly Thunder. Up above my head, I hear thunder in the air. There must be a Shelly Thunder somewhere. Yeah, she's in here, y'all. Thank you so much, and give some love to my mods this morning. Now, she is also aided and assisted by the leader of the pack, none other than the Rebel Inc. Yes, the Rebel Inc. That is my girl. She is my day one, my ace boon coon, and she holds it down. She takes care of everything from A to Z here in the Lion's Den. And for that, I want to appreciate her. Now, she is a streamer. And if you're not following her, beloveds, I want you all to join in her stream. You just don't know what you're missing. She will be streaming today. She is part of a raid train, 11:30 Central Time. 11:30 Central Time. Please be ready to join in with the Rebel Inc. in the raid train on today. And then, of course, the third part of the Three Musketeers, none other than Michelle Brownell. Yes, that's my quiet storm. And she just changes the atmosphere just by her presence in the room. But oh, don't underestimate my girl, because she's powerful. And every time I look at her, I say miracles, signs, and wonders that God has done in her life. And we're just continuing to see God do great things for her. Now, that's the Mod Squad. I appreciate them, and they are the best anywhere in this here world. I appreciate them for all they do. Now, I want to stop, and we always like to appreciate the logo work that was done by Twanna's Twitch. I did speak with her. She set her clock, cheerings, because she's 2 hours behind me. She set her clock for 4 o'clock this morning. She said, Pastor, I just had to hear your voice this morning. She is still on the road to recovery. She said to tell all the lions good morning. And so I want to say from Twanna's Twitch, as she continues to recover, good morning to all the lions from her. And I could assure her it was nothing but mad love back to her. So let's continue to remember her and this fine work that she has done. And the men's logo is ready. I told her, listen, at this point and at this stage of the game, you keep your lips, your hips, and your fingertips in that bed and you just heal. So here you see the women's logos that she has created. The men's logos are ready and coming soon and very soon, but we're gonna let that baby heal, and then we'll deal with something else later on. Now, just wanted to get all of that out of the way. So much love coming to you. I do want to say, we do have Genius that's going to be kicking off. That is our fluid ministry. That's our fluid stream that we're going to have going for our LGBTQ plus community and everybody else. It's not just, I want it to be fluid all the way across the board. We're going to come in and support the babies. That will be kicking off in May. Just finishing up some touches on that, and we'll give you the specific information as relates to that. But I want you to keep looking, because Genius is coming and it's ready to launch. Now, I just want to also, tomorrow, please, I will be out of pocket because, as many of you know, I had responsibility for the final arrangements for my cousin, who we found deceased on last week. Those services will be on tomorrow. I will be here in the morning, but for Good Grief, it will be going on. Good Grief will be going on. So I want you all to come in, support my friends, because listen, Crazy Berrytown and Kim Possible 7-Eleven, they lay out a platform that is just, if you are on the journey of grief, or as Crazy Berrytown likes to say, if you just want to come in and hold space for others, or one day, because that's the thing about grief, it is the equalizer. One day your feet will be on that path. We invite you to come in 12 o'clock Central Time. It will be operating on tomorrow, even though I will be away. So I just wanted to get those announcements in so that all hearts and minds are clear, as they used to say at my church back in the day. All hearts and minds are clear, so we know what's going on in the Lion's Den. Now, you know what we do right now. We get the coffee cups out, because this is our time to just say good morning and appreciate everybody that's in the Lion's Den this morning. Simply amazing. I see you. Lovey54, I see you. Kai Chick, that's my girl. I just love you. I see you. Come on in here. I see you, SK8843. I see you, Sheila Miles. Come on in. Woman Unsilenced is in the room, y'all. She is a streamer, and if you're not following her, please follow my sister, Powerful platform, powerful platform. BT Deep Mom, I see you, girl. Come on in the room. Thank you so much for being here. Stacy 546, I see you. The Rebel Inc., I see you, girl. Thank you so much for all that you do in the Lion's Den. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Coming on up, and I'm looking and I'm booking and I'm checking out who's in the room, who's in the room. Tall Pumps, and she's pumping tall. That's my girl. Good morning to you, and I appreciate all that you do up in here. Denise Taylor is in the room. Come through, love. So much love coming to you, and come on in the Lion's Den. Kai Chick, thank you for those 9 months in a row. You know I love you, girl. Appreciate you so much. Oh my goodness, my goodness. This room is just full of beauty. This room is full of love, peace, joy, and happiness. I'm looking at Teresa Jones is my 411 Connect. I see you. Get your teacup out, because I know you don't drink the coffee. Get the teacup out, sis, and come on and let's have a good chat this morning. I'm coming on up. I feel like good times. I'm moving. Is it good times? No, that wasn't good. That wasn't good. Who's moving up a little bit? No. That's the Jeffersons. I feel the Jeffersons this morning. Let me get that straight. Dr. Dady Priest, the high priestess, is in the room this morning, y'all. The high priestess is in the room. This is my girl. If you are not following Dr. Dady Priest, child, I want you to loose the devil and let him go. You got to follow Dr. Dady Priest. Honey, she will bless your whole life, your insides, your outsides, every kind of side. And she will talk to your dusty sons. Good morning to you, Dr. Dady. And I see you up in here. Come on in the room. Now I'm coming up and I'm looking, and I think I'm almost at the top here. Yes, and Cassandra Isaiah, she was the first one in the room for chat this morning. Good morning to you, my sister. So much mad love coming to you. Come on in the room. I love you. I love you. I love you. I call her our poet laureate. Now let me see if anybody came in the basement while I was going upstairs. I think I got everybody. So thank you. Get your coffee cups out and let's have some conversation this morning. Now, you know how we do it up in here. We get the music rolling and we let it roll while we talk. If that's okay with y'all, here we go. Here we go. I just had to let that beautiful bean footage roll for a second. Now, while we slumbered, slept, and slobbered, you know how we do it. We get a little conversation going about what had happened was while we slumbered, slept, and slobbered. I'm going to start this morning with a video that I thoroughly enjoyed. Lovey54, my goodness, I think I missed you, sis. Good morning to you. Get that coffee cup out and I see you. Thank you so much for being in the Lion's Den this morning. And my apologies for missing you. Oh my goodness, because you are important to me. I need you to survive. Michelle Brownell, the quiet storm and the miracle sign and wonder herself, is in the room. Good morning to you, Michelle. I see you. Now let's get this party crack-a-lacking and let's get this thing going. I'm gonna pause this for a second because today we're gonna start with a video. If I can do that. Come on. Shelly Thunder, girl. I heard it. Up above my head. Shelly Thunder, I heard you. Come on through there. I know there must be a Shelly Thunder somewhere. Good morning to you. Now, as we get started this morning, I want to start here with a good story that really blessed my Shondo this morning. And I want us to enjoy it. This, I thought, as we're coming into a place where, look at that beautiful face. Give those are my mods right there. Shelly Thunder, Michelle Brownell, those beautiful ladies right there. That's what I'm talking about. I I want to start with a video that really blessed me this morning. And today, I guess I'm going to do a little bit of focusing on the cheerings because, you know, yesterday we're talking and we're moving towards change. We're talking about transformative justice. We're talking about transformative living, changing, and not just continuing to talk about change, but it's time to start moving and manifesting the change and doing things differently. There's a paradigm shift that is on and upon us. We got to get into it. As Crazy Berrytown, she is a streamer. She's not here yet this morning, but listen, if you're not following her, please follow her. But she has a emote that says, get into it, get into it. This is the time in which the change that we want to see, we've got to be it and we've got to get into it. This brother right here blessed me in this video. And so I want to share this with you on this morning. That's it. Thank you for putting it up, Tall Pumps. That's it right there. Get into it. Get into it. None other than Crazy Berrytown. That's what she's given to us. Now, I want to share this because we're making changes. You know, somebody said, yeah, you're always talking about change, but I still don't see anything yet. Nobody's doing anything yet. We're making changes and we're talking about how to make those changes happen. So this brother right here, I'm going to share this because he is an instructor in the classroom to kind of give you a little bit of a setup. He is in an area where over half of his class failed on their testing. And so he said, well, I'm going to let you hear what he said instead of me telling you what he said. But I just want you to pay attention, because change is on the way. And this is how we do it. This is how we do it, y'all. This is how we do it. Uh-oh, let me give you some volume. Come on here. Let me take it back.
He knew he had to do something
let me back it up. Let me back it up. Okay, here we go, y'all. Here we go.
36.
When Michael Bonner's second grade class failed an exam last year, he knew he had to do something drastic.
When 80% or more of your kids fail a test, it is not the kids. It is you. And we have to own that.
So he made a deal with his class.
If you all pass this test, 14 out of 20 pass, I personally will shoot you a music video.
Hey! And it worked.
I had to shoot them a real video.
Tell me what your scores are.
My score is like 100 or 80.
His school in a tough Greenville neighborhood is partially surrounded by barbed wire. 100% of the students qualify for free lunch.
And that's why I get excited about the video. It's a sign of my kids fighting against that.
When their first video went viral, Ellen DeGeneres invited the entire class to Los Angeles, and they made a professional video with rapper Big Sean.
So we can answer questions and we can be cool.
Now they're shooting their fourth video for passing yet another test. How's it feel?
That feels amazing.
I think it's bigger than a music video now. I think they understand that, man, we can really do this.
Now that's a wrap. Rahima Ellis, NBC News, Greenville, North Carolina.
Okay, so continuing here, you talked about what narcissism...
Let me tell you what. Let me pause that. When we start talking about finding other ways,
special, more special than you, they're entitled to more than you and everybody else.
I'm talking.
They really don't have self-worth.
It wants to take control, but the devil is a lie. Thank you, sir. Be quiet. Now, as we look and we move forward, and come on. I'm with y'all. I want to give some applause on that. Can we give him some applause that this young brother realized we got to change our method. We've got to change the method. This is excellence in education all day long, simply amazing. And if it's not working, don't blame it on the kids. I love that. You just cannot blame it on the kids. If it's not working, we've got to deal with the reality of what do I need to change up to make this happen. Now, I want to appreciate this young brother for really, when the young man responded and said to her question about how does that make you feel? And he looked and said, it makes you feel amazing. Now, for me, y'all, that right there, for me, that's everything. When you can take a child that goes from our whole class cannot pass a test to all of us, what the young man said, 80 to 20, 80 to 100, the scores that he's making. When you make that kind of impact and deposit in a child's life to where they can go from flunking to soaring high, and then to see how their videos are going viral. You know, this is what we'll do if we buckle down, anchor down, and just do everything we can to really go to another level. You know, now this is the one thing that really disturbed me in that story. I don't know if y'all saw the barbed wire fence that was around the schoolyard. Why? Just explain it to me, Lucy. Why is there barbed wire fencing around a little child's school? I just can't. I cannot imagine, and I'm being real. I cannot imagine driving my child to school and looking and seeing barbed wire fence all the way. I mean, you know, when I looked at that, I was like, is this a prison already? Are we already giving a mental image and a perception of this is what it looks like to be behind the fence? I've never, in all my days, I don't think I've ever personally seen a school that is surrounded with barbed wire. That did something to me. It did. I just have to tell you, that did something to me. And at the end of the day, I'm like, no, I want the administrators. I want the community. Now, this is just me. This is what I want. I want somebody to say, no, ma'am, no, sir. I don't care what kind of fencing we need to put around this building. Take this barbed wire down. Now, somebody might be like, you know, you just really, really are getting out there, spiritual thought leader. You don't know why they got barbed. I don't know why they got barbed wire up, but for a children's playground and a children's outside area, you cannot explain to me. You can talk till you're blue in the face. You cannot explain to me satisfactorily why this school with little children has a barbed wire fence going around it. That is listen all day long, because at the end of the day, what kind of mental image and picture are we sending to the children? What kind of mental image and picture are we sending to the children when they go outside on the playground and they see barbed wire fence like they're standing out in the prison yard? I just cannot get with it. I cannot appreciate it. I want to understand why this is the case, and nobody has said anything. But then when I see that over half of the class is flunking and failing, and had it not been for this instructor that said, hey, we're not going to blame it on the kids. Come through now. We're not going to blame it on the kids. We're going to blame it and take the responsibility on ourselves as teachers and administrators to say, we got to change this up and do something differently. So I applaud this story all day long, but I'm still going to cry loud and spare not. Take that barbed wire fence down. Take it down, y'all. Take it down. There's no reason for little kids to be pent up behind some barbed wire fencing. I'm going to come up and see what you said. Simply amazing. The teacher challenged his students and himself. Absolutely. Tall Pumps, they made sure to show that. I thought they were about to say their school is on a prison ground. Pay attention. And no, I don't believe it is on a prison ground, but that's the way they're treating it, Tall Pumps. And getting that mental imagery already in those children's minds. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? You're already giving this imagery into these little children's mind, what it looks like to be behind a barbed wire fence. And my answer is no, ma'am, no, sir. The administrator at the school district, and whoever's in charge, somebody needs to take that fence down. I see you, SK 8843. No, that's not the way we're going to do our cheerings. That's just not, I don't care if you're talking about the adults that you're trying to keep out. Our babies do not need to walk outside and see themselves behind a barbed wire fence. So inquiring minds want to know. Simply amazing. You said, I bet the barbed wire is connected to the location of the school and possible adjacent properties, but I completely agree with you that it sends the children a wrong message. This is all I'm saying. What kind of message are we sending, Tall Pumps? Somebody explain it to me. Take it down, woman unsilenced. Not now, but right now. Take that barbed wire fence down right now, because that is not the imagery. And I just cannot understand it for the life of me. Nobody has seen a conflict. Nobody has seen some kind of issue with this barbed wire around the school of these little kids. No, ma'am, no, sir. Take that wire down. So at the end of the day, you know, this is how, when we start talking about how our children become desensitized, how our children kind of start falling into the plot and the plan that's been laid out here, because that, to me, sends a tremendous message to that child. That sends a tremendous message to that child. We are not free until we're all free. Don't start my child with this bondage ministry, this bondage mentality, this bondage mindset that says I belong behind. I know why the cage bird sings. I belong behind this fence full of barbed wire. No, ma'am, no, sir. No, you don't. So at the end of the day, I want somebody in authority, some adult somewhere to say, this is unacceptable. Do not put my child behind a barbed wire fence. Come on, Stacy. They'll try to say it's for safety. How about having the teachers out there watching the kids instead of the barbed wire? Listen, at the end of the day, whatever you got to do, Stacy, but the barbed wire kind chick is unacceptable. And then we wonder why we have certain behaviors and certain situations. It can be subliminally sent. It's not always overt. Subliminal messaging. You belong behind barbed wire. No, and no again. When I go in certain neighborhoods, I can guarantee you, you are not going to see their children behind barbed wire fences. And if you're not going to do it over here, you're not going to do it over there, and vice versa. So at the end of the day, the imagery is totally incorrect for a small children's elementary school. I just can't have it. You know how we do it over here. No cream, no sugar. We take this coffee strong and black because I tells it like it T-I-Z tis. So I don't know who the administrator is, but somebody needs to hear the message. Take that daggone, take it down. Take that fence down. Tall Pumps, you so glad the reporter pointed that out, although it wasn't for the same reason. Hopefully the locals are outraged. Hopefully everybody is outraged. Hopefully everybody is screaming, take down that wall. Just like Reagan told Mr. Gorbachev, take down that wall. So at the end of the day, thank you for lurking and working. I appreciate you. Simply amazing. We got to understand all of these things impact our children. And you'll do it in a black neighborhood, but I promise and guarantee you, if you go to the affluent white side of the town, ain't no barbed wire fencing nowhere. So there you have it. So that's my rant about you're like, oh my goodness, that was such a good story. And you done got caught up in the barbed wire fence, because it is a good story, but we got to pick out every issue that is an issue. And that barbed wire fence around those little children's playground is an issue. Don't worry, the minute little Karen's child pricks her finger, there's going to be a lawsuit. Is it going to be a lawsuit? Listen, so at the end of the day, I thought that this was an absolutely phenomenal story. This young black brother that went into school and said, I'm not just going to allow my kids to go down on a burning, sinking ship. I see the flames. I see the ship going down. We're going to save the ship and the children in it. I loved that story. And so at the end of the day, I'm so appreciative that he had the wherewithal to care. And that's really what it takes, the wherewithal to care to apply himself and care. Now, those are the kind of teachers we need in the classroom. And those are the type of teachers that need to get paid. He needs to get paid, y'all. He needs to get paid. Not no chicken scratch, not no pennies here and there. He needs to get paid, as well as all of the other teachers that are out here really making a difference. I mean, really, really, really going at it and make a difference. Now, this one right here, I want to show this because this one blessed my whole life too. This one blessed my whole life too. Let me see, can I get it any larger than this? That's as big as it'll go. But okay, so let's hold on. Let's hold on. Now, this is how we change our children too. Now, while we're talking about what the teacher did, and that's a beautiful thing, while we're talking about what the teacher did, there's some learning that needs to happen at home. Now, this is where I want to take the parents to task, because so many times it's like y'all want the teachers and the admins to do everything for your child. This is your child. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? This is your child. You should not expect somebody to invest more in your child than you invest in your child. Now, this is a mindset that we've got to turn around. And so this one right here, bless my whole shondo, because at the end of the day, I hope I got this back to the beginning. If we don't, I'll let it run again. Y'all don't be mad at me. Just let me run it again. But this one right here, this child is 4 years old. Yes, let me get that in. Kudos to the brother teacher. Come on, SK. He needs an admin promotion. He found a need and he met it. And I hear that, simply amazing. He may need an admin promotion. He may need to stay in that classroom, because who you going to replace him with? If you replace him with a deadbeat that doesn't care, then we've lost the children. Sometimes we need our expertise out there hands-on with the babies. And I'm not the one to decide that. Everybody has to know their own calling. Everybody has to know where they're coming in and what they're called to do. But if all of our talent goes into admin and nobody's in the room, Houston, there is a problem. Come on, Cassandra. Subliminal is coming out. Stop that barbed wire. Take it down now. Our gifts, our princes and our princesses require so much more. Thank you to that enlightened teacher. Absolutely. My sentiments exactly. Yes, that young needs to be crowned for his accountability. That young man, he needs to be crowned for what he did. He saw it. He did it. He took it to task and he made it happen. So at the end of the day, now this one right here, this blessed my whole shondo, y'all. Let me roll this beautiful bean footage and let it bless you too. This child, let me just start right here. This child that you are about to watch is 4 years old. Did you hear the words that came out of my mouth? This child that you're getting ready to watch right here is 4 years old. Let's roll that beautiful bean footage.
Good job. So
good, man.
Just gonna drop another one.
okay, so what's 12 divided by 4? How many times can you fit a 4 into 12?
3.
What?
Excellent.
Cause this got
That's
the 3
right.
over here.
That's right.
Good job, girl. That's what I'm talking about.
Not a yes.
Yes, you did a yes.
I'm gonna roll that again, y'all. I'm gonna roll this again because this makes my shondo shout.
Good job.
So
Good, man.
just gonna drop another one.
Okay, so what's 12 divided by 4? How many times can you fit a 4 into 12?
3.
What?
Excellent.
Cause this got
That's
the 3
right.
over here.
That's right.
Good job, girl. That's what I'm talking
Got
about.
a yes.
Yes, you get a yes.
I'm gonna show this one more time in case somebody missed it for the people in the back, because I'm about to shout. Look at that. Look at that.
Good job. So,
Good. Good, man.
okay, so what's 12 divided by 4? How many times can you fit a 4 into 12?
3.
What?
Excellent.
Because this got
That's
the 3
right.
over here.
That's right.
Good job, girl. That's what I'm talking
Got
about.
a yes.
Yes, you get a yes.
Now, babies and beloveds, let me tell you. Now, this is what I'm going to say about that, because at the end of the day, yes, and yes, that child gets a yes and those parents get a yes. Now, let me unpack this right here. Let me get this music going again. Let me pull it down. And cause I want a conversation on this. Because I saw come through Genius Black Child, Tall Pumps. I saw you. BTD Mom, love this. And I know you do, because that's the way you taught your kids at your academy. I know that you love it, and you did a marvelous job with your babies, and they came out just like that. And so this is where I want to go. Adults there with encouragement. Yes, I see you, SK. Rebel Inc., I see you with the roaring lion. Come through Genius Black Child, Tall Pumps. Stacy 546, another Hidden Figures. Makes me a little sad that she's so much smarter than me. That was a pre-algebra problem this 4-year-old child was working. Beautiful bean footage of parent and child interaction. I pray it catches on now. Now this, yes, so tired of the limits we set on our children. Children learn what we teach them. Now listen, come on, Michelle Brownell. That's exactly where I want to go, Woman Unsilenced. Love it. Come on with those. Come on. I'm going to give you the applause. Because listen, they deserve that. The mother, the father, and the child, they all deserve applause. This is what I want us to address. And Woman Unsilenced, you hit the nail on the head for me. We want to say and think this is a genius child. This is a child that has a mother and a father that's taking time and investing time in that child. Because as Woman Unsilenced said, so tired of the limits that we put on our children, because the children learn what we teach them. Do y'all understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? The children learn what we teach them. I'm going to say it once more and again for the person in the back that didn't hear what I said. The children learn what we teach them. If the children are coming out uneducated and unaware and unlearned, it's because we're not teaching them. It's not because they don't have the capacity to learn. They have the capacity to learn. And this is where I want us to understand. When you sit down, baby, when she did the 4 squared, and listen, I was like, was it 2 squared? Whatever was squared. When she was able to calculate the squared figure in her head, she got me right there. And then when she knew to take that was in parentheses and write it down, and then bring the 3 down and put that together in a grouped parentheses and solve that, and then go over to the other side on the other side of the equal sign and solve on the other. Baby, I'm telling you what, I've had, hey, Jazz, please, come on in. Jazz players, come on in here. So good to have you this morning. Welcome. This is what I want us to understand. You can tell that this child has parents that have spent time with this child teaching her how to process at 4 years old. Now, y'all wait until you get Jezzy, please. Come on. That part 2 squared, woman unsilenced. That part 2 squared. That girl looked up at that number and saw squared and solved it like nobody's problem. Now, this is the thing that I'm saying. I've had some of y'all's children in high school and they can't do this. Not because they don't have the capacity, but because we have not taken the time and the energy. Y'all ain't ready for me. We've not taken the time and the energy too many times at home. I'm not talking about what you just get from the teacher at school. That first story was marvelous, darling. That first story was magnificent. That teacher went above and beyond after having a percentage, a majority of his class that was failing. But if the majority of the class is failing, that tells me those children are getting nothing at home. Y'all ain't ready for me, because y'all wanted me to come in and really give this pump up about what this young black teacher did in this classroom with these kids. But if the majority of his class is flunking, that tells me the children are not getting anything at home. Y'all ain't buying what I'm selling. So this is where I'm saying there has to be a cooperative effort that we now start engaging in. There has to be a cooperative effort that we now become participators and not spectators. So this is not the teacher and the admin's responsibility to teach and train my child. There should be teaching and training at home. Listen, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna clap for my own self. Because I said something. I'm gonna clap for STL. I'm gonna clap for myself. I said something. For everybody that wants to put so much blame, accountability, and responsibility in the classroom, I need to challenge you that it's a cooperative effort. Your child needs to be learning from you in the home. I know I'm talking good right here. Your child needs to be learning from you in the home. Thank you for the roaring biddies, woman unsilenced. This is the thing that we've got to come to, and this is the thing we've got to go back to. There was a day and there was a time when children learned in the home, and listen, by the time we got to school, that's what made us so advanced in the classroom, because our parents at home were teaching us. I know I'm preaching in here. Thank you for the roaring biddies, Kai Chick. I know I'm preaching in here. Yes, your mom and your sister taught you how to read before you started kindergarten. Listen, this is all I want to tell you. My great nephew, when he went to kindergarten, he could read, he could write, he could do arithmetic. Listen, I'm trying to tell you, my nephew, they could read, they could write, they could listen. It starts at home. When I got to school, not only did my parents take time to teach me, but I think this is really BTD mom. This is her calling for life, because she's the oldest of BTD mom, SK8843. Those are my biological blood sisters. And I am the youngest of the three. I'm not the baby, but I'm the youngest of the three. And this is what happened. And this is why I was able to go to school and excel my whole time in school. I was always ranked at the top ranking because my parents taught me at home, and my sisters, do you understand the words that I'm talking about? My sisters educated me before I ever got to the classroom. If they were working on something in school, they came home and they taught it to me. Am I talking to anybody in here? If they learned something in class, they came home and talked it to me. Now, y'all not gonna come on here, Rebel. Jonna's kids could all read and write, and they were way ahead of their class. And when they go in the classroom, they're bored because they're so far ahead of the rest of the children. This is a matter of how you take time with your children. Now, say, I ain't getting no amens up in here, but listen, I know I'm telling the truth. While we really want to talk about how poor the educational system is, we've got to reinforce the educational system, because your child's first education should begin in the home. And listen, I'm gonna applaud for myself again, because y'all ain't saying that. I clap for myself. I will clap for myself. myself because I know I'm telling the truth. You can say, I didn't know this and I didn't know that. Listen, let me tell you what. I was teaching and tutoring ACT and SAT prep in the high school and in the junior high system. ACT prep. I want you to know, I had many people of Asian descent that wanted to pay and have me come and teach and train their children that were not even in school yet. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? They wanted to pay money for me to come and teach and train their children who were not even in school yet. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? So when we get down to it, y'all want to talk about how the Asian culture produces such genius children. The Asian culture understands, educate that child as soon as you can. And then, yeah, listen, now can I say this? Let me read these stories and let me read what y'all saying, and because I'm gonna drop a bomb on you. March on with the truth, STL. Let's roar righteously and forever stand with your lines. Voice girded with truth. I'm talking up in here, Rebel. Come on, Michelle. Your sister taught your kids and the same thing happened to your kids. I hear you, SK8843. I'm preaching real good right now, Cassandra. Now, this is the thing, because y'all think it's funny that your child knows all the raps. Y'all think it's funny that your children, before they can barely walk, know how to drop it low for Jesus. Y'all think it's funny that your baby knows how to twerk. Y'all think it's funny that your baby knows how to back that thing up and shake their booty. Y'all think that's funny, and then you sit on the sidelines because your child knows nothing academically. And this is the thing that we've got to challenge ourselves with. If they can learn, some of those raps are so long, I'm like, my God, today, how do they learn and memorize all of those words? And you know, your baby, your grandbaby is saying that rap right along word for word. If that baby can learn all of that rap, your baby can learn. Y'all ain't ready for me. If your baby can learn, okay, let's move it away from rap and let's just go to songs, period. If your baby knows all the words to all the hit songs that are out there, if your baby knows all of that, your baby can learn 2 to the second power times 3 and not sit there and look dumbfounded. Y'all ain't buying what I'm selling. Not sit there and look dumbfounded like someone is speaking Mandarin and they have no clue what you're talking about and looking at the board like deer in headlights. Baby, that speaks to what's going on in the home, and we're gonna have to deal with that. While we're talking and saying we want all of this change, there's some things that we've got to change too. And this is what I'm saying. Even if you say, but I didn't know algebra myself. Did y'all see that 4-year-old sit there and figure out that algebra problem? If a 4-year-old can learn algebra, is anybody listening to me? If a 4-year-old can learn algebra, don't tell me that you can't do it. Now, the thing is, are you willing to apply yourself? And my point in saying, even with the Asian community coming and asking me to teach ACT prep, do you hear what I'm saying? I ain't talking about no 2 + 2 = 4. They wanted me to teach ACT prep to kids that wasn't even in school yet. They understood, even if I don't understand it, teach it to my child. So they went and found a resource. Now, I know I'm talking real heavy in here this morning, but I'm talking about change. They went and found a resource. There's no excuse. There's somebody out there that is a resource. And then let me finish this story, because then I brought ACT prep to the Black community, not in the school system. I did it from pay in the school system, but then I came to the community because that was a specific program for specific kids and everybody couldn't get in that program. I brought it to the Black community for free and I couldn't get a student. Now I'm telling I'm telling what God loves, and that's the truth. I brought it to the Black community, to the Black kids, and offered it for free, and I couldn't get a student. I'm going to say it once more and again, because this is a time that we have got to shift and we've got to change, and the narrative must go to something different. I'm going to say it again. I brought it to the Black community and offered it for free. I had the building, I had the space, I had the computers, I had everything that they needed. I had the books, I had the workbooks, I had everything for free, and I couldn't get nobody to sign up. But we want to complain, and we want to complain and talk about what's not happening in the school system. But I came this morning to tell you about what's not happening up in your home. Now, I said a whole mouthful right there, and I don't care. Y'all can be mad at me, but listen, you know how I do it in here. No cream, no sugar. I take this coffee strong and black because I tells it like it T-I-Z-Tiz. Teresa, you said your kids are 4 years apart, and you told the oldest, when you learn something, turn around and teach it to your brother. He was cursive writing before the 2nd grade. Come on in here, Teresa. That's how you do it. My sisters taught me what they learned. When they learned it, they brought it to me. That's how we do it. Education is a partnership with the parents and the teachers and the children. You're proud of Malcolm at 3 years old because listen, Malcolm talks other languages. Malcolm knows how to do reading, writing, and arithmetic at 3 years old. Do y'all understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? And his grandparents are just as active in his learning as his parents. Come on here. So at the end of the day, we talk about we want a shift. We want a paradigm. We want a paradigm change. We want all of this stuff, but you've got something you've got to do. You've got work. You've got to participate. You cannot just spectate. And even if it's something that you don't know, find a resource and tap into it. There are resources out here. I was out there trying to say, I'm here, I'm available. You can't afford it. And listen, when you go to these test prep schools, they pay good money for those test prep schools. I'm out here offering it in community for free, and the people wouldn't take it. You understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? Woo! And then we want to talk about the educational system and how poor it is, but what is your investment in your own child? Step up, parents, grandparents, aunties, uncles, neighbors. It takes a village to raise a child. I need the village. I need the village to wake up and step up. Come on, Kai Chick. I'm talking real good this morning. Crazy Berrytown. She is an instructor and she is a professor at the college level. Good morning to you. If you're not following her, please follow. But I'm talking something over here. Ply yourself. You understand, woman unsilenced? Ply yourself and stop waiting for somebody to come and take your child, to come and take your children and put the knowledge in their head while you sit on your seat of do nothing and expect everybody else to educate your child and then complain when they come home with no education. But what did they learn at home? Y'all ain't buying what I'm selling. What did they learn in the house? And listen, I'm going to tell you what, freedom right now, truth right now, change right now. Don't let it happen without you. Yes, you. I need you to step up to the plate. Ooh, I ain't getting no, and the grandparents, woman unsilenced, and the grandparents. Is anybody talking to me this morning? Y'all done got real quiet in the lion's den. But I'm telling you what God loves, and that's the truth. You need to be actively engaged and involved in your child's learning and your grandchildren. Ooh, he just flunking, child. She just flunking. I just don't know. No, that's unacceptable. That's like that fence. That's like that barbed wire fence. But let's take it from the natural and let's put it in the figurative. You have just placed that same barbed wire plantation, prison mentality. You have just placed that fence around your child's life. You did it. We ain't talking about nobody else. I'm talking about what you did. Oh, my child, he just can't keep coming home with these F's. Good. Have a great day, Stacy. I love you so much. I want y'all to understand, baby, you are just as responsible for your child's education as that teacher is in the classroom. Y'all ain't ready for me today. But that little baby right there, she blessed my whole life. She blessed my whole shondo. She did. You think as black people, we didn't always understand the value of great education. But I'm grateful today that what I couldn't provide for my daughters, they pushed the button on. Listen, and that's the thing, simply amazing. And thank you for that. And your daughters are just geniuses. They are simply amazing. And this is the thing, it doesn't matter. Again, as I said, you may not have personally, as the parent, had that same opportunity to education, but open that door wide for your child and find resources, because there are resources available. Don't just let your child fail because they not getting it in the classroom. That teacher that took it upon himself to make sure that those children succeeded. And as he said, if half the class is failing, if the majority of the class is flunking, that's my problem. That's our fault. We got to take that mindset. If the children are failing, come on, y'all, that's our fault. Stop blaming the kids. Stop beating the kids. Stop hollering at the kids. Good morning, Lady T. Come on in here. Stop the here we go. It's a solo raid. LaWanda Baskerville. She's in the house, y'all. She's in the house. Come through.
Baby. Hey, come on, right now. Hey. Going out to the entire set. Going out to the whole entire set.
Yeah, Wanda. WandaVision. Miracles. Signs. And Wanda. We just been raided by the solo raider herself, LaWanda Baskerville. Now that's, listen, I love it. You just need to go everywhere with that, sis. You just need to go. Please refresh. Please refresh. Michelle, your grandmother wore y'all out. Education was the most important thing to her because she did not read until she was in her 40s. And her teaching included self-care all the way to knowing how to tie your own shoes. Am I talking to anybody? I love it, Michelle. It does not matter what you didn't get. That doesn't mean you cannot give it to your children and your grandchildren. Where there's a will, there's a way. Am I talking to anybody in here? So this is something that I want to challenge us with. This baby right here, listen, I'm going to show her one more time for good pleasure. Because listen, she blessed my whole life, but not only her, I want you all to understand, this is what parenting looks like, and this is what healthy parenting does. Am I talking to anybody? This, beloved, is what healthy parenting does. And listen, it's incumbent upon you to give your child a chance. Come on, baby, and work this problem one last time to bless my soul. Hold on. Let me. Two squared. Did y'all see her put that 4 down there and then bring the 3-0 down? I love it. I love it. Look at her figuring it out.
Good, man.
Okay, so what's 12 divided by 4? How many times can you fit a 4 into 12?
3.
What?
Excellent.
Because this got
That's
the 3
right.
over here.
That's right.
Good job, girl. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Yes, you did it.
That's a yes. This whole video gets a yes. And for that, once more and again, I love it, y'all. I love it. This is what I want us to start doing in our neighborhoods, in our communities, in our homes. This is how we turn it around. Simply amazing. Your daughter, yes, she has an environmental science a degree in environmental science and geology degree, has studied all over the country because of her drive. Both of your daughters went to college without their dad and you paying a dime. Both of your grands are working above grade level and your grandson has an IEP because he's so far advanced. But it takes the whole team. Our children are geniuses. Our children are geniuses. They need the opportunity, and it's incumbent upon us to give them that opportunity, not wait for somebody, but it's our responsibility to give them that opportunity. Your grandmother had a deal with your parents. She would stay home and take care of and educate the kids, and they would work and take care of the family. Now that's the way you do it. Come on and work that work your jelly. How are we going to do this together to make it work? If mom and dad have to go to work, how are we going to work together? Grandma says, I'll raise the kids, you go to work, I'll do the training, I'll do the teaching. That's how we do it. It takes the village. It takes the whole village. It takes the whole village. So those two stories right there, y'all, those two stories right there all by themselves. That's how we roar. That's how lions roar. That's how lions roar. I'm going to say it once more again. That's how lions roar. So we're going to start churning out and producing a different caliber of children. I don't care about the kids twerking. I don't care about the kids twerking. I don't care about the kids knowing all the raps and all the lyrics. I don't care about them knowing all of the songs, but I do care that they get to school and don't know anything. Then I care. Then I care. When your child does not know that I had a senior, and y'all think I'm lying, but I promise to God I'm telling the truth. This is what God loves. I had a senior that could not spell his name. Did you hear what I said? Yes. And this is not hyperbole. I'm not exaggerating to make a point. I had a senior who could not spell his name, but he had a girlfriend. Explain it to me, Lucy. Explain it to me. You out here talking about getting busy with your girlfriend, but you can't spell your name. And then I want to know how the school has passed him all the way to the 12th grade, and this joker can't spell his name. Somebody explain it to me, because I can't understand it. I can't wrap my brain around it. I just cannot. I cannot wrap my brain around that. And that is the God's honest truth. This child could not spell his name. So, you know, these are the things that we got to deal with in the system of our homes and our neighborhoods, and we got to hold our own selves accountable. Come on, LaWanda Baskerville. That's what I do with almost your 2-year-old grandson. He almost knows how to spell his name. He knows his ABCs and is working on his colors and sight words. That's what I did with my daughters when they were at his age too. Start at home. Started at home. Somebody needs to hear that, because you just can't wait to send your and can we deal with this? Stop with the I can't wait for school, because that gets them out of my hair. If your children are not your passion and you just trying to find some place to drop them off, the parents that go to the store and drop your children off in the toy section while you go hither, thither, and yon in the store. No, listen. That whole mentality, that whole idea. And then when your child gets snatched, y'all trying to snot and cry, they took my child. You let the child wander all around the store, because those of you that are just so anxious to get these children out of your hair. Simply amazing. We have to show up for our children. Quit making sure you show up at the malls and the concerts, but are absent parent-teacher conferences and all of that. Listen, I went through parent-teacher conference. I had one teacher show up the 3 hours I sat there, and my jaws were tight. And I had one of the biggest classes in the school, because they were trying to funnel all these kids through so that they could increase their test scores. And I had one parent show up. You heard the words that are coming out of my mouth. So at the end of the day, crazy Berrytown, I can only imagine what you see. I can only imagine what you see. Teresa, I hear you. Listen, Teresa. I'm not even going. He couldn't spell his own name. SK. That's the truth. That's the truth, y'all. That ain't no made up story. I never in my life have witnessed anything like it. But that child could not spell his name. I ain't never seen nothing like it in all my life. I ain't never, ever seen a senior that could not spell his name, and that is the truth. Now. You listen, you can't make these stories up. You understand the words that are coming? I can't make these stories up. Now, I'm giving side-eye not only to the child, his parents, but also the school system. How has he come all the way through? And I had to point it out to the teacher, the instructor, because I was contracted in. So I would take the class while the other teacher was making free money. They dropped me in his class, and that's where I taught ACT prep. So he was making free money because he didn't have to do nothing but sit there and allegedly do child control. And really wasn't doing that. I did the discipline and everything else in my own class. But at the end of the day, I had to point out to him, watch this, baby, he cannot spell his name. Taking a pause for the cause to thank the Lord for no kids, because they definitely would. Rebel, we ain't leaving no kids at the Metro bus stop. You're so silly. You are silly. Crazy Berrytown. These college freshmen and sophomores are in trouble. They had such an interruption in their school years due to COVID. It's a mess. Yeah, and listen, I've heard that, and I've heard not only at that level, I know those are the age groups that you deal with, but I listened and shared with a friend the other week that her daughter was going into first grade, second grade during COVID. So those children now, they're showing so many areas of lack as far as social skills and activity, as far as other things that typically they would have got in an in-person learning environment. And many of them are in trouble. Many of them are in trouble, Crazy Berrytown. And this is all the more reason, though, when I start talking about, okay, let's invest in the children. If during this time there are areas that they're missing, find a resource. And I'm gonna say this to some of you, because it takes a village to raise the child. And we've said this before. This isn't anything new here in the Lion's Den. But maybe if you excelled in an area, go ahead and tutor some kids. Tutor some kids. Hey, pay it forward. Tutor some kids in your neighborhood. Tutor some kids that are in high school or college, and go ahead and help them, assist them. If this is your area of expertise, help them and assist them so that they can get caught up and be up to speed and where they need to be. Don't let the babies just be left behind because COVID interrupted their learning. How can we get them up to speed and keep them moving forward? Lovey 54, even when school was out for the summer, you and your son did field trips. Come on, Lovey 54, to the library and the museum. We were talking the other day, and these kids didn't even know what a library was halfway. You know, take them to the library, take them to the museum, take them someplace where they can learn something. Listen, I believe I was in second grade. My father took us to the planetarium. I can't remember. I think we were in Washington, D.C. We went to the planetarium, and that's where, as we learned, my very educated mother just served us 9 pizza pies. I'm in second grade, but what did that say to me? My very educated mother just served us 9 pizza pies. That was the planetary order. So I knew that M was Mercury for my, V was Venus, educated was the Earth, mother was Mars, just was Jupiter, served was Saturn, 9 was Neptune, pizza pies was Pluto. So in second grade, I knew the planets in order, because my dad took me someplace during the summer, every summer. And we had educational, yes, we had fun, but we had educational excursions. He took us to places where we were going to learn something. And from second grade to almost 60 years old, I can still say my very educated mother just served us 9 pizza pies. And so by the time I got to science and I needed to be able to quote that, guess what? I already knew it because I learned it when I was in second grade. Am I talking to anybody? Lovey54, kudos to you for taking your son on field trips during the summer and taking them to the library, the museum, and other places of educational learning. We can do this. You support your grands 200%, Teresa. That's what I'm talking about. Support them 200%. So, if you see another LOL or happy face in your formal essay, you're gonna cuss. A formal essay. Crazy Berrytown, my heart goes out to you. I can only imagine what you see on a formal essay. LOL and a happy face. Y'all, come on now. I'm just saying. Yeah, Michelle Rebel has a whole bunch of children. She got cheerings everywhere because they name her name everywhere. They name her name. Yes, Rebel Inc. That kind of stuff. You on a formal essay. This is the kind of stuff that you get. Yes, Michelle and Jonna's 3, and including Jonna's oldest, who I tell her, listen, Jada, it's as if Jada came out the Rebel Inc.'s womb. That child is so much like the Rebel Inc. It's not funny. I know you're dead serious. You literally just had a student catch an attitude trying to tell you that this is how people talk and it should be acceptable. And I was like, girl, bye. Girl, bye. No, ma'am, no, sir. Not on a formal essay. And so at the end of the day, let me tell you what, and I promise you, this is how I came into my promotions when I was working at the city. My largest promotion came when I was working for the manager of human resources. And I was blessed to be an admin for her. And many times the opportunity was that I would write what she needed for her meetings. And there's nothing wrong with this. I wasn't being exploited. It was good opportunity for me to stretch my wings and learn how to fly at an admin level. So, an administrator's level, a manager's level. So it was not uncommon for her to call me in the office and say, I need a paper about thus and so. Come on in here, Bearded Baritone. Good to see you. Am I missing? For one reason, I see y'all coming in the room. So sorry, I got caught up in talking. I forgot to meet and greet. One reason is a streamer. If you're not following him, please follow. And also, Bearded Baritone is a streamer. If you're not following them, please follow. Excuse me, I'm so sorry that I missed saying good morning and welcoming you all in the room, but I'm just so caught up in this conversation right now. But what happened was she'd have an assignment of something she needed a memo for, and she'd call me in. It wasn't dictation. She would call me in and tell me the framework of what she needed, send me out. I would write it. She would make a few minor tweaks to it, sign her name on it, and there it went. And that was largely because I knew how to write. I knew how to talk. Now, y'all know I come on here and some of y'all probably like, listen, spiritual thought leader can barely talk and da-da-da-da-da-da. Please know that there is the ability to show myself, to govern myself accordingly when I need to in certain arenas. But that is actually how I got that promotion because, number one, they take you out to lunch. And some of y'all need to learn etiquette. Teach your children etiquette. How do you know what spoon to pick up? Do you know what fork to pick up? Because so many times now they take you out to lunch when they start talking about management and upward movement. They take you out to lunch because a lot of the business that's done is not in the office. A lot of the business is done at the table, eating lunch or eating dinner or meeting with this group of people and meeting with that group of people. They want to see, do you know how to eat? Or are you going to sit here and smack and put your elbows on the table, food falling out your mouth? Do you know how to eat and conduct yourself at the table? Learn some rules of etiquette. Then sharpen your tools of writing. For those of you all, if you want to get into a place of really beginning to manage and administrate, you have to have writing skills. So listen, when Crazy Berrytown is teaching your child how to write a formal letter or a formal paper or how to do whatever they're doing as it relates to being able to communicate in writing, please, please, please don't go up there and argue with her when she tells them they can't put a LOL and a happy face on that paper. Well, that's how the people, that's not how they talk when you get in management. If you want to stay at the bottom of the rung, let your child keep writing happy faces and LOL on that paper, and they will stay at the bottom of the rung. If you want your child to go somewhere, reinforce Crazy Berrytown when she tells them you cannot use a emote and a LOL on your formal paper. And then we wonder why, child, they were just mad. They didn't want me to get that promotion. That's not the color of your skin and they just mad. That is, you have to know how to deal appropriately in certain situations. Learn how to communicate effectively, both orally and in writing. Did you, let me say it once more and again. Make sure that you are an effective communicator, both orally. I do so much talking silly that I have to pull it back. You can communicate orally and in writing. And if I was giving somebody just 3 simple hacks, communicate orally, communicate in writing, and know etiquette. If you want to go to some management positions, because those are some basics right there. So your gifts and your children, come on here. The pre-K to first have struggles in your wife's school. They were not prepared. I hear you one reason. And this is one thing I'll say about that. And I'm going to come on down because I know I'm really, really behind on the stream. But listen on the chat. That's still one reason I'm going to say what I said earlier. That still goes back to what's happening in the home. What are we doing with these kids in the home? Queen, you're calling your son to hug him through the phone again this morning. Your grandson, 12, stays on the honor roll at private charter school because of the sacrifices he makes for his son, including the bedtime stories. Come on here. Read to your child. Read to your child. The bedtime stories he races home to read it. Come through. I'm going to get, this is for your son. Woman on silence. Come through with that. We're changing the paradigm. We're shifting the paradigm. Am I talking to anybody? I love that. Put that LOL on the resume, see what happens. Not hired. So you're really not here. I got you one reason. We use our gifts. Come on and bring those gifts to the community. Bring those gifts to the community. Yes, get excited about learning instead of plopping them in front of a game or a TV. Come through with that tall pumps. Some of y'all may need to put some parameters around that. Now, at the same time, let me tell y'all this about gaming. I had one of my good friends who is a professor at the university, and she sent me some paperwork. She sent me some information, rather. Do y'all know some of these kids that are playing games, and there were no black children? I think I saw one black child in this. Now, there's the issue of how much these kids are playing these video games, right? But this is the thing I also want you to understand. The same controllers are what they're using in the military. They're not necessarily going out and doing hand-to-hand combat like we knew before. Now they have to be able to run those controllers from a remote area. That's how they're doing a lot of the warfare. This is what she sent me, and I'm trying to remember what the name of it's on Hulu, I believe it is. And I want to invite you all to go out there and see it. So this is the thing. There are millions of dollars, and I mean literally, and could be billions, millions of dollars, that are being paid to these children. And again, I said it, it's mostly white children right now that are playing these games, because when they master these games and these skills, then they take them and allow them to use their creativity and their imagination. You know, we talked about that on yesterday. They said if they can master that game to that level, they can create new games and new ideas and new concepts. They're taking these children, and I'm talking about 12, 13, 15, 16. These children are making millions for their families because they're expert gamers. That's the truth. When I watched that video, when I watched that documentary rather on Hulu, my mouth was hanging open, and I'll have to come back and give you the name of that particular documentary. Something about gaming, but I can't remember. Anyway, as the father said, I just was shocked, stunned, and amazed. And this is what happened. His son kept begging him to take him to a gamers conference. And when he got there, because y'all know, just like when you go to the casino, they got all that stuff. They're monitoring all those machines. They know what's going on at every table, at every machine. All that stuff's hooked up, right? So when the young man and the dad finally took him to one of the conferences, the young man was there, and the dad said in less than 5 to 10 minutes, they were approaching his son because they were watching his score on the machine that he was playing. They took him, they talked to him, they put him at a whole nother level. That son is making millions. And that father said, I could not believe it. This is true, y'all. And this is even as you're talking about technology going into the next age. So when your child, I know that there's a hard decision to make between how much technology is too much technology for your child and where do you draw the line. But I'm telling you, those kids that excel and that are just blowing it out the water, those kids are being looked upon because they're making paper. Do you hear me? And so sometimes as we are eliminating or restricting opportunities to our children where technology is concerned, I want us to understand in this technological age in which we live, you just might be putting a shackle on their neck, hands, and feet. Just pay attention. Just pay attention. That's all I can say about that. But when I'm telling you, I watched this video and there's a whole market out here of young children that are making millions of dollars because they are so apt with the technology and able just from gaming. I shook my head and I was just like floored. I was flabbergasted. So, you know what? I just was really stunned, shocked, stunned, and amazed. Truck driver, good morning to you, sir. That's my Mufasa. The Lion King is here. When your kids were born, you told your wife she had to prepare your sons for school. And when they started, they were ahead of the teachers. And the teachers used them to help them with other kids. And I got you on that, truck driver. And I had that same scenario when my behavior, because I was bored out of my gourd. I was so bored with school because the stuff that they were doing was so far behind where I was. They started using me to help teach the other kids. Now, you know, as I've gotten older, I got some other thoughts about that too. But anyway, that is how they curtailed my behavior, and I ended up helping the slow students. I had that whole group when I was in grade school. I had the slow students that I was teaching and instructing, and I think back on that now, and there's just a lot of different thoughts on that. But yeah. SK8843, buy books for the kids, pay for admission to museums, etc. Get these kids educated. Good morning, Bearded Baritone, and I just want to appreciate you for coming in the stream. So, you know, all of these things. Michelle, your kids got called weird because when we went to Houston, they wanted to go to all of the historic museums there. At the end of the trip, my kids were the only ones who enjoyed themselves and learned something. The rest of the kids' sightseeing was shopping. Okay, Michelle, can I unpack that just for a second? And I'm gonna get out of here. And the rest of the kids got a good opportunity. Shelby Nicole cosplay. She's in the room, y'all. She's in the room. She is a streamer. Please follow her. Can I unpack that? The rest of the kids' vacation taught them consumerism. Plain simple in a nutshell. There's nothing wrong with going shopping, but do you not understand? If all you do is be the consumer, you will always be poor and lacking. Now, I'm just going to break it down and tell it what it is. I'm going to listen. No cream, no sugar. We take this coffee strong and black because I tells it like it T-I-Z-tis. If all you're doing is taking your kids from city to city, shopping in the shopping malls, you're teaching your child how to be a consumer. Oh my goodness. Air traffic control has also started using gaming controllers to expedite traffic. And SK, that's the thing. That's what I'm trying to get us to understand. This is how I want us to get the mindset. Don't necessarily cut your children off from the technology because you may be hurting them. And I just need you to pay attention to that. I'm not saying let your children run amok, and you know, they're not doing anything at all, but just sitting up in front of a gaming board. But at the same time, I want you to understand technology of the future. This is the way that it's going. And if your child is not already experienced and having some expertise in these areas with technology, your child will be locked out in the job market. I'm not just talking about in the job market. They may be just locked out. Good morning to you. That's why they started Twitch. Gaming is in the Olympics now. One reason, absolutely. Gaming is in the Olympics. Pay attention. This is what you got to understand. When you start seeing things change and shift in the world, especially in the corporate, but again, this is just even in the gaming, start paying attention, because things are getting ready to shift that direction, especially when it comes in and just like a flood starts taking things over. Good morning, Barbara Hardy. That's my friend. Come on in here. So much love to you. So the U.S. Army has a Twitch channel. Come on, Psalmist 4. And good morning to you. She is a streamer, and I want you all to support my sister. That's so true. Technology, you guys. Technology is the driving force right now. When you start pulling your child away from technology and denying them technology, I'm gonna say it once more and again, you just might be putting a shackle around your child's neck, arms, and feet. Pay attention. So that's what I want us to pay attention. Woman on Silence, thank you so much for being here with us. I appreciate you. Go ahead and lurk and work. So much love coming to you. You've been a blessing to the stream on today in the chat. Thank you. So these are the things I want us to really pay attention to, because it really does make a difference. Now, as we come on, I'm trying to see what else we're talking about transformative justice. I've got some more videos that I could show, but I think those two have been sufficient in talking about education in the home and education in the school, so that we can get our kids on a whole nother level. Now, I'm gonna put this up here. I told you, my sister sent me this book. We do this till we free us. We do this till we free us. I'm gonna say this, and we're gonna wrap it up here in this last half hour and get up out of here. I want us to, anybody that wants to get that book, you know, just like we did The Color of Money and The Color of Law, when we did those teachings, I invited you, for anybody that wants to get the book, you're welcome to get it, because I'm going to be using that as some foundation in our talking as time goes along. I'm just giving you a heads up. I'm not going to use it today, but it is a lot of information that talks about restorative justice, transformative justice, and what we need to do in the communities and the neighborhoods. So you want to send your daughters to a black school girl coding program. Come on, do that, because coding is huge. If your children are asking and inquiring about different areas that they can tap into, coding is huge. If they can code, they can do something. So that's a good idea. One reason. You're welcome to get this book, because I'm going to start talking about, now we keep talking about the Lion's Den moving us into a way of change. I touched on this on yesterday. As we start understanding, even where government is concerned, it's your money. At the city level, it's your money. At the county level, it's your money. At the state level, it's your money. At the federal level, it's your money. We've got to readjust our mindset back to a place of ownership, just like you would if I was handling your money and you put me over your money. It's still a matter of you tell me how to move your money. I'm just the guardian that does what you want done with your money. This is the way we've got to start rethinking and reapproaching our government at all levels. We have relinquished our rights to our money. And what do I mean when I say that? We let the government at the city, at the county, at the state, at the federal level, we let them take our money, and then they take our money and use it as if it's their money. It's not their money. It's our money. I want us to start readjusting the way we think about that and shift that perspective, because then we have a little more unction and a little more oomph when we want to start talking about how you're spending my money. What we have allowed this system to do at this point is to take our money, act like it's their money, that they spend the way they want to spend it, and then they come back and tell us how they spent our money, and 9 times out of 10, they have not spent it on us. Then we also have to deal with the reality that there are those that are not putting their money in the pot, but they're getting more benefit from the money that we put in the pot than we get from our own money. Houston, there is a problem. So this is where I want us to begin to become so consciously aware. And I'm going to keep just from that basic premise and that basic point right there. It's my money. When you think about the county, when you think about the city, when you think about the state, when you think about the federal spending at any level, I want you to speak in your mind and in your heart, it's my money. And you don't spend my money and come back and tell me what you did. You let me tell you how to spend my money. Do y'all understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? This is a shift that needs to happen. It just absolutely, positively needs to happen. It's our money, SK, and we deserve our share and benefits. Come on. It's our money, and we deserve our share and our benefits. This is why even when you come into whatever area of the city and then you come to the urban and money's being spent everywhere, money's being spent hither, thither, and yon, but money's not being spent adequately in the urban core. This is where I need you to take this mindset of ownership, but we pay taxes too, and maybe paying more than the rich folks out there in suburbia. It's my money. I need you all to get that down in your shondo, and then start voting people into positions that actually represent you and your interests, not their interests and the people that are lining their pockets with money. So this is the shift I want us to make. I told you on yesterday, even as we start looking at, yes, we have all the voters that we have, and we put people in all of these voted in positions, but I want you to start literally making neighborhood organization groups. Now, I'm talking transformative right now. We're ready to shift. We're ready to change. I don't care about the people. Yes, I do care about the people that you vote in, but this is what I'm addressing at this point. The people that you vote in, how many of them actually come back and tell you what's going on, what they're voting on, what the agenda is, what they're talking about? There are some that do it, but there are not, most of them do not. So this is what I want us to start doing. Get your neighborhood organization together. Some of y'all need to know your neighbors. That's the difference between then and now. Even there, we knew everybody on my street. We knew everybody on the adjoining streets. We knew everybody in the neighborhood. Everybody knew everybody. Listen, we knew what the neighbor's car sounded like going down the street. You understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? That's how well we knew one another. We are now living in a very disjointed and disconnected time. And the problem with us being disconnected, anything and everything they want to do can be done to us because we're not unified and we don't know the people. This is what I want you to do. Start a neighborhood organization. Start a neighborhood group. It doesn't have to do anything with politics or anything like that. You're not trying to be political, but you are going to be politically aware. So what do I mean when I say that? Okay, so from that neighborhood organization, what are the resources in the neighborhood? Okay, so my sister worked for FAA. So at the end of the day, she knew flight flight service. At the end of the day, she had information that, you were able to get an understanding in an area where there were not many minorities of what you needed to do in air traffic control. So let's not just in her retirement years, let her sit over and do nothing. Let's take that knowledge and information and resource that she is and bring that into our neighborhood group if she lives in our neighborhood. And let's now start training kids. Let them now start getting information and details from her. What does it require to be an air traffic controller? And what knowledge do I need to have? What courses do I need to understand? Can you teach me certain things about a cumulus cloud? I mean, she can tell you, she really could be a meteorologist. That's how much they have to know to be able to go out there and do flight service and air traffic control. This resource is sitting right here in the middle of our presence. Why are we not tapping into that resource? Why are we not taking advantage of the fact that this resource is amongst us? And this is where we need to start tapping into some of our seniors. I really feel, and this is my personal opinion, I really feel some of our seniors go into Alzheimer's because they tap out because they no longer feel needed. They no longer have in our society what before was a very active life. They now are out here in la 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 land, and it's almost as if we've thrown them away. Let's take these individuals in their golden years and make them feel a part of our community. How can we do that? Tap into the knowledge that they have. Tap into the knowledge of what they know. Tap into the expertise and allow them to participate in our communities as viable persons that still have something to offer to the people. So let's take them. And if he was a welder, let's take him. If he was a plumber, let's take him, because listen, those skills and those crafts are just as important as being able to go into the corporate arena and say, I got my suit and my tie. Somebody needs to know how to be an electrician. Somebody needs to be a sign maker. Y'all ain't buying what I'm selling. Somebody needs to have all of those different skills that those individuals know, made a living from, and their livelihood, get fed their families, kept them well, kept them above water, and moved them on into a place of wealth for their family. We need their gifts. Come on, SK. The elders have great gifts to offer. I'm talking about, this is the kind of neighborhood organization we're getting ready to make. Let's understand who brings what to the table. Who brings what to the table? And how can we take the things that they bring to the table and capitalize those things for this community? I'm not looking for the government to come in and give me a dime until, hear me when I say this, because what? It's my money. When we show and prove that our neighborhood organizations are working, our neighborhood organizations are cutting down crime, our neighborhood organizations are putting people in entrepreneurship, our neighborhood programs are changing the whole game. Come on, if your neighbor next door, the house needs to be fixed and repaired, and the neighbor next door doesn't have the money, then our neighborhood organization has a group of people that have been trained and know how to do house repair. They know how to do the plumbing. They know, come on, y'all ain't buying what I'm selling. They know how to get up and put the shingles on the roof. They know how to fix that hole in the wall. They know how to come in and unstop the toilet and the sinks. They know how to come in, and we're doing a bartering system in the neighborhood. We're doing a learning system in the neighborhood. We're doing a mentoring system in the neighborhood. Am I talking to anybody? We're doing a system that we're setting up to be self-reliant and self-sufficient in the neighborhood. I'm not worried about you coming in and breaking in on me, because I know you and you know me, and when we know each other and we respect each other and we love one another, I don't need the police riding up and down the street. We can police ourselves. And as a matter of fact, y'all remember the day when you had one Uncle Virgil. Let me just say, Uncle Virgil, I don't care. As long as Uncle Virgil was in the mix, you didn't need not near one police. Because if Uncle Virgil was there, even the ones that acted like they didn't have no sense, when Uncle Virgil was there, they had a can of act right. You understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? They didn't need the po-po. Uncle Virgil was there. I'm talking about the very ones that would just act like they lost their whole mind and just act insane and go crazy and want to fight and beat everybody up and pull out a knife. When Uncle Virgil was there, all of that foolishness stopped. Our communities need to create Uncle Virgils. You understand the words that I'm talking about? Our communities need to create what we need in our communities from within and stop looking for somebody to do something for and to me from without. Because if you don't know me and you don't care about me, you don't have a problem breaking in my house and stealing my stuff. You don't have a problem coming in my community, over policing and beating me upside the head. You don't have a problem doing any of that because you don't know me. So I want us to go back to the place. Come on with that, SK. Somebody needs to know how to grow a garden and provide fresh produce in your community. The community garden has its place. The community gardener, some of y'all got a green thumb. You know you got a green thumb. You can grow anything, honey, and Grace can grow anything. I don't care what it was. She had a vineyard. She had grapes. She had everything that you could think of. And Grace grew it in the garden. And guess what? So when we got ready to eat, we wasn't eating a whole bunch of chemicals. We weren't buying up a whole bunch of food that cost way more than what it really should have been marked at. We went and we shared. Listen, my dad raised hogs, my uncle raised cows, and every year we would butcher. They had chickens, they had eggs that we got fresh eggs. We had gardens, they had gardens, and guess what? When my dad would butcher the pigs, Uncle Virgil and them got half of the pig, and then when Uncle Virgil would butcher a cow, we got half a side of beef. Y'all understand the words that I'm talking about? So we ate well, we ate fresh, we ate good, we ate what we created, what we tended to, what we provided for ourselves. In the meantime, I'm saving money, or am I talking to anybody? I'm living healthier, I'm doing something there. You say, but we can't do that in our community. I promise you there's something that can be done in your community. Some of those vacant lots, some of those vacant spaces that are just over there sitting, looking, and just being eyesore. Let's start buying property. Come on, y'all. It's time for us to start owning land. Somebody needs to go out there and that lot that's been vacant all this time, go buy that lot. Pay the taxes on it. It's just going to be a little bit if it's no building on it. Even if it does have a building on it, if it's not of significance, get something that you can make, but own our stuff. Own our space. Own what belongs. Get it and let it belong to us. What did they say out there at the George Floyd riot? The one sister that gave such a poignant response to the people rioting, she said, yes, we gonna riot. We don't own this. And she used her expletive. We don't own this stuff. So yeah, we'll burn it up. Yes, we'll tear it up because we're mad. And we're mad that you own it and you don't even care enough about us to see about us and treat us right. We'll burn this stuff down to the ground. So at the end of the day, listen, this is where I'm saying to us, start buying this land. Start buying this property. Start coming into a place of ownership. Listen, some of y'all might need to go because listen, I'm gonna tell you what they do. Gentrification. Buy some of this land in some of these deserted areas because I guarantee you so many times the plan was to run you out so that they could come in and get it at a cheap price. Baby, get that land, hold on to it until the price goes back up, and then even if you ain't gonna do nothing with it, sell it and make a profit. I had a friend of mine that came and he told me, he said, listen, I bought a whole stretch of land. He said, and I paid it and paid it off. And when I got done, when the city finally expanded out there to that area where that land was, he made over 10 times the money he paid for it. You understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? He made over 10 times the money that he paid for those tracts of land. And he went away with the killing, moved out to South Carolina, built himself a paid-for house from the ground up, and is living large and still has money left over in the bank from that sale. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? So at the end of the day, we've got to re-envision this. I'm telling you, start neighborhood organizations now. Start getting together with your neighbors. Listen, this is an age of internet. You ain't even got to meet. You can meet via Zoom. You can meet via whatever vehicle you want to use on the internet. Legacy building, Psalmist 4, come on and talk to me. Legacy building. Legacy. Let's start building our legacy. It's time for us to get busy. We can't just keep talking about it. We're going to have to do something. Do you understand the words? The transformation is going to come from us transforming it. So as I'm telling you, start with the neighborhood organization. Do you know your neighbor on your right? Do you know your neighbor on your left? Big Moochie, baby. Step on over to the right, then step over to the left. Step up, step back, now walking on out. Get all your neighbors, get everybody, and start knowing the people in your community. What resource do they bring to the table? Tap that resource. Then this is what I told you on yesterday. Everybody doesn't have to go down to the meetings, but you're going to have somebody in your neighborhood. They love that stuff. They love that kind of stuff. So listen, Miss Kravitz, y'all remember Miss Bewitched? Miss Kravitz always wanted to know what was going on over there at Darren Nim's house. You got a Miss Kravitz in your neighborhood. Send Miss Kravitz to all the meetings. Now, when I say send, remember that can be watched on the TV too. That can be watched. You don't have to physically be there. Send Miss Kravitz in your neighborhood to get all the tea that is out there going on in the city, in the county, in the state, in the federal. Send Miss Kravitz and then bring Miss Kravitz to the meeting and just let her spill her guts. You understand what I'm talking about? Let her spill her guts to the rest of the neighborhood. This is what they talked about in City Hall this week. This is what they talked about at the county. This is what they talked about in the state. This is what they talked about at the federal. Let Miss Kravitz bring all the tea back to the neighborhood, and then neighborhood, let's talk about what impacts us and what we need to address so that we know what's going on and we're not just left in the dark holding the bag, because we're about to hold the city, we're about to hold the county, we're about to hold the state and the federal accountable. Why? Because it's our money. It ain't your money. It's not your money. And this is the message that we've got to start sending to the city, the county, the state, and the federal. Those that y'all got out here spending money and you not asking us what you want, what do we want you to do with our money? You're not asking us. You just coming in, voting and doing what you want to do and sending it and paying what. It's our money. So this is the place where I'm saying, then when we have that viable program that's working in our neighborhood, am I talking to anybody? When we have that viable program that we created in our own neighborhood, I ain't asking you to come create nothing for me. We create our own stuff. I am a creator. I am an innovator. You understand? I have imagination and my imagination works. So at the end of the day, now that we've created something that works in our neighborhood and we can replicate it here, there, and everywhere, that's especially when we tell the people that got our money, and spend the money on this right here. Don't be spending it on hither, thither, and yon. You pull that money back over here and you spend that money over here, because this is what we've put together. This is what is proven that it works. Now give us our money back. Do y'all understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? Because there's a shift that we've got to do. And come on, generational wealth building. We need businesses in our communities. We need businesses in our communities. We need dollars and spending in our communities. And now I'm talking about the black community. I love everybody, but right now, I'm talking about the black community. We need dollars in our community. Come on, you understand what I'm saying? We need training and educational opportunities in our community. But I'm trying to tell you, if you tap into some of these seniors and some of these older retired people that have gone through a whole career time that could just sit down and share some knowledge with the young folk and give them some understanding. Let me tell you what my job was. This is what I did. This is how I did it. This is what was required to do it. Now, I understand technology and change and all of that, but if you understand the basic premise of it, then yes, you can potentially be a candidate that can walk in that job that I came out of and fill those shoes and go in there and say, hey, I want to apply for this job right here, and already have some knowledge about that job. Babies, this is a time that we're ready to change things. And I'm going to say it like my father said years ago, and I'm getting out of here because it's 9 o'clock. Prayer changes people and people change things. Am I talking to anybody? Prayer changes people and people change things. It's time for us to make a change, and the transformation is upon us. Well, I feel for my brother and I feel for my sister. Now listen, we talked about education today, and listen, you got to educate at home as well as look to the school to educate our children. So at the end of the day, when you retire from your job, it's time to do your real work. One reason. I like that. And that it just shifts, but it's time to do some real good work. Now, at the end of the day, we've talked about transformation, and I'm gonna keep talking about transformation because we gotta make the shift. We can't keep talking about it. And as you see, it's not gonna happen from the government down. We're gonna have to do this for ourselves. Y'all understand that? We're going to have to do this for ourselves. What am I pushing right now? Starting neighborhood or community organizations. Now, this is one thing I'm gonna say about that. Neighborhoods, as we're getting up out of here, neighborhoods can be created on the internet, just like what we're doing in Twitch. One Reason has a neighborhood. The Gospel Takeover, that's a neighborhood. Crazy Berrytown has a neighborhood. Woman Unsilenced has a neighborhood. Dr. Dady Priest has a neighborhood. You understand what I'm saying? Let's put these neighborhoods to work. It's not just your physical locality, but listen, understand, even what we're doing here on Twitch, we represent neighborhoods because we're here to bring some change. So at the end of the day, this is what I'm talking about. This is what we're doing. And we're not the in crowd. We are the in crowd because it is happening. Now listen, y'all can follow me out there. I'm out there on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Patreon, Twitter, Twitch, Anchor, Discord, and more. I'm out there, y'all. I'm out there. And you know the mantra. We don't have a spirit of fear. We don't have a spirit of intimidation. Baby, the Lion's Den has power, love, and a sound mind. That's the way we roll. And listen, we're not just talking about change. I need you to be the change. And at the end of the day, you're not alone because it's us, you, me, we all. Because this pride, Pride, this Pride Alliance is relentless, and you're going to hear us roar. Now, I want you to copy the raid message because we're going to go share some love someplace else because there's a whole lot of people out here. Those are neighborhoods and communities. I want you to think about it that way. There are a whole lot of neighborhoods and communities out here. We want to be a part of them and bless them too. That's the way the Den of Activity works. Now, I want to appreciate the Lion support. I appreciate you for the Roaring Biddies, Kai Chick, for the Roaring Biddies, Woman Unsilenced. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Michelle Browno, thank you. The Rebel Inc. and Shelly Thunder, thank you for being the awesome moderators that you are. Y'all just blessed my whole life. Come on, Kai Chick, 9 straight months together. You know I love you. And for that one woman raid, LaWanda Baskerville. Yes, Wanda Visions, miracles, signs, and wonders. Thank you so much. And to everybody, whether you were in my chat or whether you just watched and observed and listened, I want to thank you for coming in the Lion's Den this morning. And you know how we leave you every day. Peace for your journey.
Oh, I feel